Hey, hope you all having a super fantastic Thursday. Boy, I couldn't wait to get off and talk about this Shannon Sharp, Amanda Seals interview on Club Shay, because I have some points to offer. Okay, but what I want to do first is I want to play the video, okay? About 6-7 minutes long. I want you to stay with me. Please stay with the video, okay? Okay. Jojo, roll it.
I had a teacher, Miss Schwenk, who called a conference because she was talking about Aboriginal art. Mm-hmm. And she said that she stood in front of the class and said, you know, that the Aborigines are a Stone Age people. And I was like, ma'am, there are Aboriginals alive right now. Like, they are a part of civilization. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, no, you know, what I mean is that they've never advanced. And we're in a classroom in Orlando, Florida. So, like, if we don't check this type of stuff, it's going to just continue. So I was that student.
Do you think she would have felt equally as offended if a white kid, because I'm assuming this teacher was white, right? Mm-hmm. If a white child would have corrected her, I think most teachers would feel some type of way if a child corrects them.
That's not for me to surmise. I'm just saying that my experience was this lady giving wrong information.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to correct her. Now, this is the same lady who tried to accuse me of stealing. And when a white girl said, no, Amanda didn't steal it, I did, she was like, well, I think both of you need to go to the principal.
Right.
I'm in Orlando, Florida, which is a notoriously racist state, Florida, in the 90s. And I'm talking to you about a white woman who is speaking about black people, indigenous people in a country where those same indigenous people have had all of their land taken from them by former criminals that were sent there from England. And she is calling them Stone Age people. And I, as a black girl, the only black girl in her class, am correcting her.
But my thing is, you're right. She possibly misspoke, or she didn't know.
I guess my question to you is, why do you even feel compelled at this juncture in this interview? Why would you even feel compelled to try to
because I'm not defending, but my thing is that what I'm trying to say, most adults, when kids correct them or speak, feel some type of way. This is not unique to a black, white, or white, black. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you took it that way. But I remember when I was growing up, my grandparents and parents said, hey, kids, stay in your place. Adults are speaking. That's all. Maybe that didn't happen where you were from in Orlando, Florida. But where I grew up, when I grew up, kids did not correct adults. So I apologize if you thought it came off as combative.
No problem. So I was called an N-word right there while I was there. And I was also bullied while I was there because I was told that you're only here because you're black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're black. So don't get any ideas. So that's what I'm being told by the other children. Does that suffice as racist to you, or would you want to call it something else? Is that just kids being mean?
The kids. So let me ask you a question. As a child, you never said anything derogatory? You was just this model citizen as a child? I mean, children. Now, we're talking children, not functioning adults. Now, if you told me as adults, parents were telling you this, or the execs or people that are in charge of Disney are telling you this, I could agree with it. But at 89, you're probably 8-9 years of age. Maybe younger.
So you have no problem with the children that were cursing out Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine? You think do you think that was just them being kids?
Two things can be true. Kids can be kids and not function as an adult, and things can be wrong. And sometimes when kids say things, they're repeating what they heard their parents say. They don't know it's wrong.
So what about the children who are receiving it that know it's wrong? Does that not matter?
Yes.
So if I'm 10 and I'm receiving that treatment and I know it's wrong, does it make my experience of it less valid?
It doesn't make it any less valid. No.
So that's what we're here to talk about, my experience.
Yes.
So my experience is that I experienced that and it was difficult. So that's the valid part of this. I'm not here to protect those people.
Okay.
I am a scholar of race.
Okay.
I'm not just someone who experiences it.
Right.
I'm a scholar. I'm an academic of race. So I see the world through a particular lens because I am skilled at doing so and because I'm an expert at doing so. Like my master's isn't just in African American studies. It's the fact that I was taught by some of the greatest thought leaders of our time. So when you hear me say these things, I would just like to ask that because you have someone who is an expert sitting in front of you, to just consider versus be combative, because there may be an opportunity here to see something differently because you have someone with you who is not just experiencing race, but is also examining. And there's a different intellectualism about that. You know what I mean? There's different intellectualism about that. And I say that also because that's why I went and got my master's.
Okay.
I went and got my master's because I know that we live in a world that loves to try and find ways to undermine black people's minds. They love to find ways to undermine black people's intellect. Look at this DEI bullshit. This DEI bullshit is trying to state that in order to include black people, we have to lower the standard, which is unconscionable. Because if black people with no schooling were able to build the White House, if black people with no schooling were able to create all of these beautiful spirituals that we still sing to this day, if black people with no schooling were able to till these fields and know the ways of agriculture enough to create the actual the actual breadbasket of this nation, then you telling me that their descendants are not smart enough to get into Harvard without you lowering a standard? That's
right.
Because DEI and affirmative action is not about lowering the standards, it's about expanding the opportunity. So I went and got my master's so that when I am in spaces and I do bring up race and I talk about these things, it's not just based on experience, it's based on actual study.
Okay. I'll also ask that because if I don't see things exactly as you see them,
I don't expect you to.
Don't take it as being combative. You see things one way, I might see it a different way. That doesn't mean I'm being combative.
I would say it's combative when there's a undermining of how someone sees something.
But why are you trying to undermine how I see it?
Because it's my experience.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, I
don't know my experience.
But I'm saying, see, you take it as if I don't agree with you, I'm being combative.
No, I don't. I take it as if I have an experience and you're telling me that my experience isn't what it is.
No,
You're telling me that my thinking somebody is racist who I was in a classroom with for a year that you have never met, you are emitting doubt upon that because of your own experiences.
No, I was talking about the teacher and you.
Right.
And I said
in your
I believe based on my experience and a lot of people is that kids correct an adult, no matter what society it is frowned upon. That's what I was saying. Okay. You took it as that I'm trying to minimize your experience and say, well, I'm defending her when I wasn't.
Okay. I think there's something worth saying that could come off that way and it should be something to consider.
So after y'all have seen that, I really want to say that, and some of y'all are not going to like me for this, I want to say that Shannon Sharp's points were actually valid, right? His points actually made sense, okay? Where he erred was when somebody is trying to tell you their experience, okay? What he was saying absolutely was minimizing Amanda Seales' experience, and that's where he erred. It wasn't that what he was saying was wrong, it was just that when he was saying it was wrong, okay? And he probably shouldn't have said it at all, because regardless to when he would have said it, that would have still been her experience. So at any point that he would have said that, it would have almost tried to negate or almost tried to minimize her experience. And so for that issue right there, he's wrong. What he was saying, the point is absolutely valid, right? It could have just been that she was just upset because this child tried to correct her, or those kids were saying the N-word because that's what they heard their parents. That could have very much been the truth. However, it wasn't his place then or at any time when she was telling her experience that he should have interjected that, because that did seem combative to me. So at any time he says that, when she's trying to air her experience, he's just wrong for that. Okay. His point again is very valid. You just don't do it when somebody's trying to tell you their experience because he can't validate or invalidate her experience. That's all I want to say about that. Okay. Secondly, which is my favorite, I want to talk about one look she gave him in particular. Okay, JoJo, give us the look. Yo, this look right here. This the look she gave. If you saw the video, he was actually trying to kind of apologize, and she was giving this look right here, and it was looking like whatever. Okay, I want y'all to know that if I ever send y'all this picture, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what the hell ever, bro. That's if I send you this, that's what I'm saying. If you tell me you sorry or text me you apologize and I send you that, I'm saying what the hell ever, bro. Because that's show. I love that look, and I'm going to keep this picture so I can put it up when there's some bullshit going on. So the interview was fantastic. I've always loved Amanda Seales, but now I love her even more because she's that one video where the lady says, say the weird thing. It's not that she's saying weird things. She's just speaking up, and people do not like her for that. And they don't like her because they know she's telling the truth. That's first and foremost. Okay? Anyway, I just wanted to share that. One last time, his points were not invalid. It was just that what he was saying was invalidating her experience, and that's where he was wrong. And stop saying he's a bad journalist because he's not a journalist. That's what makes the show refreshing. God bless y'all. God love you. Have a super fantastic Thursday.